And let's make sure the stream is started. I'm not getting my capture card. Capture card. Why are you... Oh, it's because my capture card is on. That's why. Duh. It's because I had capture card active that it wasn't showing. I'm a dum-dum. Alright. Looks good. Does it sound good? Sound good? It does indeed. So hello people of the internet. It is I, Soul Rack Dragon here, back with more Fate Stay Night Remastered, where we are going to continue on day 6 of presumably the Fate route. Yes, load this file, resume the save game. So last time, we had officially introduced Saber to Taiga and Sakura, technically speaking. It was a lot of fluff, but we did also meet with Shinji. We met Ryder, and were informed by Shinji of the presence of a servant at the top of Ryudo Temple. We just got done informing Rin of the servant's presence, and she doesn't want to investigate, but Saber wants to go. Rin, this is not the Unlimited Blade Works, this is the Fate route. So we are going to be yes-manning Saber, I guess, and I mean, this should presumably lead to things. We did have a couple choices that did have branches, but we'll address all those, hopefully, eventually. Still not sure, like, it says Fate here, but I have no idea where it branched off into the Fate route. Maybe it was here that it branched, maybe it was sooner, maybe it's not going to actually say when it branches. I don't know. I do not know. But we are going to go with Seba and fight Kesta. I'll go on the offensive. There's a master at Ryudo Temple, and I need to stop them from sucking up the magical energy of everyone in town as soon as possible. I agree with Saber. I'm not thrilled to be the one making the move here, but it depends on the opponent too. If we want to find out what sort of master we're dealing with, we should go to Ryudo Temple as soon as possible. Then it is time to head out, Shiro. I'm very glad to see you being so proactive. I said preactive there. Fine, there's nothing I can do or say since you've decided, but just be careful. That'll be fine, Rin. Tosaka? I'm going to rest. I have no interest in a battle I can't win. If you aren't back tomorrow, I'll at least go and collect your remains, in the spirit of our alliance. What the hell? Why would she say something so ominous? Rin's a bit of a pessimist. That is likely Rin's way of warning us. We are certain to face defenses meant to ward off intruders into Ryudo Temple. We will need to pass through the enemy's traps and beat the Master, the Lord of the Stronghold. Well, you're right, but I'm not so enthusiastic and confident that I'm going to go in there and beat the Master. I just want to learn their identity and motives. If all goes well, we might be able to avoid battle, and if things get hairy, we can retreat. I won't ever let her suffer or look so pained again. We'll just have to retreat right away if it starts to look too dangerous. Again, it's gonna be fine. The clouds zip by overhead. Must be a strong wind up there. It is almost midnight. Yeah, the town's gone to sleep, so it's a good time to head out. I nod as I grab my Shinai bag. Inside, I packed a bamboo sword I found in the shed. It's not the greatest weapon for going up against a servant, but as long as my strengthening magecraft works, it should be able to survive at least one attack. We're only going to Ryudo Temple just to check things out. We're going to see who the master is and what class their servant is. We're not here to start a fight. Understood, but if the enemy desires a fight, or if I determine you are in danger, I will not hold back. As long as we're headed into the enemy territory, please prepare yourself for the possibility of death. Possibility of death. The scales of fate weigh on one end of the Ryoto... The scales of fate weigh on one end at the Master Ryoto Temple and on the other on us, intruders. The scales are balanced right now, but they may tip one way or another. We head west from the intersection and hurry along the empty road. Ryoto Temple is located at the end of the gently sloping mountain path opposite the more developed Shinto. There's a long set of stairs. The road that leads up to one of the tallest mountains in Fuyuki is all but swallowed up in an ominous darkness. Do you sense any servants around? Yes, I cannot be certain of anything specific, but I can definitely sense a servant. Saber's detection abilities seem to be weakened, probably by the bounded field set up over Ryoto Temple. It is an ill-favored wind tonight. Shiro, do not leave my side, even for a moment. I just nod an answer, then start up the stone stairs. The air feels tense. Shrouded in the dark of night, the forest echoes with soft, rustling sounds. With every step I take, worry gnaws at my stomach. The temple gate finally comes into view. Nothing's happened so far. There's no sign of the enemy, and the temple gates are wide open, as if inviting us inside. Stop. Is it an enemy, Saber? Yes, but it is not a servant. Their presence is too weak. It's likely a familiar test surveillance. We can ignore it, but... There must be something about that surveillance familiar that makes her hesitate. Saber frowns, then glares at the temple's gates just a few steps ahead of us. Is something bothering you? I do not know. I cannot tell if I'm feeling this chill because of the familiar, or if it is whatever is protecting this temple gate. There seems to be a gatekeeper of some sort, but they appear to be absent at the moment. Okay. Interesting. I do not want to admit it, but it seems we're lucky that I am fortunate not to have to confront whoever's protecting this gate. So there's a gatekeeper, but they're not here right now. That is weird. Yes, they already know we are here. There could be only two reasons the gatekeeper has been pulled back. Do you know what those reasons might be, Shiro? The gatekeeper was either pulled back to hide from us, or they're going to let us through the gates but don't intend to let us leave. Either way, we're not going to accomplish anything unless we get inside. It's a trap, Saber. Can you tell what's going on in there? No. All I can say is that I sense the presence of a servant. Got it. Guess we won't be learning anything unless we go inside. Saber nods. Let's go. Whatever they do to us, we're not getting anything out of this trip until we see our opponents' faces. Saber and I approach the temple gate. For a brief moment, the clouds drift across the moon, swallowing up its light. Our vision falls into darkness. Medusa. In the darkness, I thought I saw a beautiful snake slithering between the trees. Wait, Saber. I stopped Saber, who's trying to walk through the temple gate. Shiro? Her golden hair whips around, but suddenly... Uh-oh. Forced transportation, but that's impossible. There's no such thing as transference magecraft in this age. But Caster... Saber's figure distorts. What kind of magecraft is this? Saber becomes distorted like a mirage, and... This is bad. Pull back, Saber. Your body's fading. No, Shiro. You're the one who's being transported. Hurry, take my hand. Transport? Like teleportation? Shiro, reach out. You're being pulled. Saber hits the ground and grabs a hold of my arm. But then... The dark figure of a servant cuts in from the side. You let your guard down, Saber. Your resistance to magecraft has backfired. If you weren't so powerful, you would have been able to protect him. Well, you're a servant. Shinji, you bastard. Black and silver figures clash. Saber versus Rider. The two confront one another at the top of the stone steps. Oh, Saber! I feel myself pulled through dimensions, twisted out of mine and through others, then deposited back into reality. My blood flows backward. For a moment, my organs flip inside out, and I'm overwhelmed by nausea. Why, I meant to hook a dragon, but it seems I cut something much smaller in my net. What? I turn to face whatever is behind me. I don't have time to figure out who it is. I swing the wooden sword behind me, not even taking it out of the shinai bag. I'm blown away. Something strikes the side of my chest, and my body sinks into a watery surface. What the? The liquid turns red. My body, the whole right side of my chest is gone. What a stupid boy. You walked into my temple equipped with barely anything in the way of magic resistance. It appears Saber was not blessed with a proper master. Media. The purple-robed figure snickers. I'm dizzy. I need to get up and take Saber's hand, but I'm shaky in my body. Worried about Saber? Don't. I'll take Saber. I need her noble phantasm to defeat Berserker. He'll die here and now, but she will live on as my slave. I don't have any strength in me. My fingers, they're cold as ice. My consciousness fades into darkness and mud. Goodbye, boy. You're not even worth keeping as a slave, weak as you are. But I will take your command spells and use them far better than you ever would have. A crooked blade glints in the darkness and begins cutting out my command spells. Okay, I'm in black, murky water. The only thing my motionless eyes see is the clouds swallowing up the moon. Huh. Well, that's unexpected. So we have to piss Saba off. That doesn't sit right with me. Unless there was another choice I made further back. I don't know. Tell me the advice, I guess. You imbecile. Imbecile. What the hell were you thinking going out there with her wounds haven't even fully healed yet? You just become a master, so you need to train a bit more. That's right, you might not be able to avoid me killing you, but letting that fix and kill you is so uncool. Hurry back to your previous choice and stay home tonight. That's right, make sure you think real hard and next time choose more carefully. Well now, your friendly Tiger Dojo, which welcomes you with open arms despite your stupid mistakes, is entering its 3rd episode already. Everyone might be getting used to this dojo by now. Are they really? What are you trying to get at, Taiga? Is there something you want to say? Yes, actually I'm sure everyone is starting to wonder by now. About what? Then I'm gonna say it. Don't you think wearing gym shorts is a little on the nose? Huh? But isn't this the dojo? I'm gonna be working out, so I'm just wearing gym clothes. I see, so that's why. Guess that makes sense. I just thought it was some sort of scheme a naughty girl like you would come up with to see what little thunder I have. You're thinking way too much about this, Taiga. You and I are on completely different levels. I don't have to be dressed to the nines to beat someone like you. Will ya? Oh, you're right. You and I are treated very differently, and there's no need to compete with each other. Good, good. We're gonna be BFFs. A gym uniform is a sign of energetic vitality, so I'll allow you to keep wearing it. Obviously. Well, you can count your blessings not in a maid outfit or a school swimsuit. I was actually thinking of wearing different outfits every time, you know. What's the obvious special treatment? Well, I'm not jealous. That idea got nixed anyway, so you and I are on an even playing field. But I'm a little curious. What other outfits were you planning on wearing? Things like a boys' school uniform, a Kamakura style outfit, grown-up me version, a snowman, an apron, a kimono, a German-style military officer uniform. Lo and behold, there were supposed to be 40 different variations. I've heard enough. Your blessed love is too much. I hate it. So kind of wanted to see the military uniform, so I'm a little disappointed in that. Yeah, I think it would have been childish to change something that's already been decided. Totally agree with what were the developers thinking getting rid of my route. Do they just hate money? You know, I don't think they were thinking that. There was no route ever planned for you. Oh, Rin. That's a Rin. What now? Hey, you scoundrel. Get back here. Help. Oh, hey there, Rin. Well, just take it easy. Is Rin smoking or something? And she's gone, and Taiga's out cold. Maybe I should head back too. Get your stamp and... Okay, see you at the next dead end. Yeah, restart for the most recent decision point. I do wonder, though. No. No extra info there. No. So... that was a dead end, apparently. Guess we're not fighting, for some reason. No, I agree with Tosaka. We shouldn't be going there yet. What? Are you saying you will not fight either? Well... that is ridiculous. What was even the point in me resting then? We must strike first, especially now that we know where our enemy is. I know that, but we need to wait, Saber. If the Master at Ryoto Temple is so thoroughly prepared, they'll have set a trap for us. Rushing in without a plan is suicide. Tosaka's right. We should at least wait until Archer's recovered. These are the risks we must always face. I do not expect victory without injury or setback. Even if the enemy's traps pierce my body, I can fight so long as I have my head. No matter how badly injured I am, it is worth the risk if we can defeat the Master, is it not? Don't be such a fool. Who would ever say it's okay to get hurt? It's fine going in knowing the risks, but a suicide mission is stupid. As your master, I can't let you do something so dangerous. Going over to Ryoto Temple would be suicide. No question. The lone road leading up to the temple is sure to be packed with traps or obstacles. Maybe both. It's one thing to go in expecting the dangers, but doing it without a plan to deal with them is suicidal. No matter how powerful Saber is, she's still held back by my weakness. I would hate for her to push herself to fight and end up dead. If it ends up like last time, I can't just agree to charging in blindly. Forgot to turn auto mode back on. I did not think to hear you say such a thing again. Listen, Master, servants are meant to get hurt. I will not allow my master to avoid battle simply for fear of that eventuality. Fine, it doesn't matter if you don't allow it. If you're going to keep being so reckless, I'll stop you as many times as I have to. If you don't like that, then hurry up and heal yourself. You're still not fully healed, are you? Not so much that it should interfere with my ability to fight. Delaying combat because you're concerned about a wound is pointless. Saber just won't change her mind about fighting. Why doesn't she understand no matter what I say? Well, I'm not budging. You lost a berserker before. Are you going to push through and keep on fighting so that we can both be defeated again? You've got to be kidding me. I don't want to get killed all over again. And then, I expect Saber to argue. Instead, she just draws in breath and... That was cruel, Shiro. Her tone is apologetic. Sorry to be unfair, but I'm still not willing to attack yet. I know I can't let the Master at Ryoto Temple do as they please, but we're in no condition to fight. If we rush in now and we are defeated, then who will stop the Master at Ryoto Temple? Listen, we're going to attack, but only after your wound is healed and we're in peak condition. If you have a problem with that, go find another Master. Understood. If Master insists. Saber's voice is quiet as she answers, and then she falls silent. Our conversation ends there. Tosaka and Saber both go back to their rooms. I am left alone in the living room and find myself starting to regret what I did. Well, it's too late. I could have said it differently, so why did I have to say it the way I did? Why was I only able to convince her with words that cut her so deep? 'Cause she's stubborn! Interlude. Interlude. It's a quiet, windless night. It's past midnight. Darkness blankets the sky. The town itself is like a dark sea illuminated only by moonlight. Overhead, the clouds move across the sky. At ground level, there's not a breath of wind. Higher up, the air must be roaring as the clouds swim by. There is at least some wind. Maybe she hears the inaudible wind. She mutters quietly as she looks up into the windy sky. Seba? The young girl known as Saber stands quietly in the middle of the yard, glaring up at the sky. Her golden hair is beautiful even in the dark of night. Her clear green eyes remain on the moon as it flickers in and out of view. She glances towards the corner of the yard once. There is an old shed. Her lord sleeps there. If you say you will not fight, fine. There's a heavy clang. The sound of iron melts into the darkness without reaching anyone's ears. The moon hides, then reveals itself once again. As the clouds above float past, the girl's appearance changes radically. Solid, heavy armor. She can no longer be called a girl in her blue raiment. Now she's shrouded in steely armor woven of magical energy intense enough that it would overwhelm all others. In her hand she holds an invisible sword, concealed by the same magical energy that surpassed human understanding. You can actually somewhat see the outline of the sword, too. The figure, once considered undefeatable in battlefield, proves that someone like herself still exists in this day and age. Though her sword is invisible, the majestic air she exudes proves her exceptional skill as a swordsman. That is what has made her Saber, the hero of the sword, said to be the strongest of all 7 servants. A knight among knights who remains ever civil and acts according to her lord's will. Whatever the other heroic spirits may be like, she remains the ideal swordsman who would never defy her lord. But that ends tonight. She's here defying her lord's orders. Rather, she's not truly disobeying her lord. This is her way of bringing her lord victory, the result of her own determination. He's too naive. If he continues on this path, it will only lead to death at another master's hands. But this master will never change his ways. Then it must be her duty to be heartless. If her master will not fight, then his sword must. My wounds have not healed. I cannot expect a supply of magical energy from master. That still poses no hindrance in battle. After confirming her own abilities, she returns her gaze to the moon. She has no concern for the shed where her lord sleeps any longer. Now that she is armed and wearing her armor, the only thing on her mind is defeating her enemies. Oh, Saber, you're not. The moon darkens. The moment a large cloud covers the sky, Saber jumps over the walls of the mansion grounds. Saber, you fool! She runs through the darkness. The silvery swordsman rushes through the sleeping town. She has but one destination, Ryoto Temple, sitting at the heart of the sacred mountain on the town's outskirts. Even Saber understands how difficult it will be to single-handedly defeat the master lurking up in the temple. Shiro is correct. She is bound to suffer great injury, or at worst, die herself. But how can she call herself a servant if she cannot do the impossible? Servants are driven by their superior abilities and an unassailable pride. They are proud as heroes and have earned that confidence in the numerous battles they fought. As heroic spirits whose lore has been passed down and respected since ancient times, they cannot lose no matter who they face. She cannot even imagine defeat. She has no exception. However, much of her innocence may still be left to her. Being granted the title of Saber is all the more reason she cannot ignore that pride. And that pride will not allow her to just sit by and do nothing when she can face her enemy. And so she must brave any traps that may await her and face her enemy even if she is alone. If she has no chance of winning, then she must simply use her sword to create one. Her sword is a celebrated blade. It has cut down countless enemies. As long as she has invisible air, there is nothing for her to fear. She runs through the mountain's pass and up the road leading to the temple. After she gets through the mountain pass, an imposing stone staircase awaits her. So, this definitely didn't happen in a little bit of Blade Works. This is certainly... It is certainly different than the Ryoto Temple she remembers. The air is stagnant. The wind is barren. The land's lifeline was contaminated long ago. This place is a land of death. The moment one enters, there can be no escape. She does not hesitate. Saber does not so much as break stride as she runs up the steps. Scenery flies by. Her footsteps echo on the stone stairs, and the mountain begins to stir. The stairs are long, stretching across a great distance. The temple gates are far, even for Saber, who shoots up the stairs like an arrow. So long are the stairs that it is impossible for one to pass through the gate undetected. An ambush surely awaits along the way. Reaching the gate will not be easy. Whatever schemes may await her, she must simply smash through them and keep moving. You know, it is interesting to note in the bad end there, Shinji is working with Caster. Nothing will stop her. Even were Berserker to appear before her, she would break through. Such is her determination, her confidence, her pride. She reached the top. Just as she is about to reach the temple gates, the obstacle presents itself. Kojiro. Saber stops. Despite her determination to push through no matter what enemy she faces, she's surprised by what she finds. It appears so naturally like a breeze. The man appears before her, lacking any trace of enmity, but leaves not a single opening for attack. You. Saber stops and readies her invisible sword. The man before her, backlit by moon, ignores Saber's menacing glare as if it were meant nothing to him. A samurai. She's heard about them, but she is bewildered by the sight of one. This is her second Holy Grail war. Even though she has seen many other heroic spirits, this is her first time seeing a servant like him. Sweat beads on Saber's brow. She isn't afraid. Rather, she's struggling to comprehend the situation. Excuse me. It's not as if she's never encountered strange servants. Certainly there was no stranger or more mysterious servants than the archer of the previous war. By comparison, the servant before her is hardly frightening and possesses no incredible weaponry. And that is exactly what makes it strange. She senses nothing from the man. There's no doubt he's a servant, but he seems to possess neither a noble phantasm nor magical energy. He should be an easy foe. Their fight should end in a single blow, but her instincts give her one simple warning. Do not underestimate him. The servant has means of inflicting instant death. She can't get closer. His katana is unconventionally long for a Japanese sword, making it hard to gauge spacing, but more than ever, Saber's position puts her at a huge disadvantage. He has the high ground, Anakin. The man stands at the top of the stairs, and Saber stands below him. He's about 5 meters from her. His sword will reach her before she can even rush him. But she feels nothing from his sword. Repelling it should be easy. She should not be afraid to step in, but Saber senses somehow that she should not. Saber adjusts her grip on her sword and glares at the enemy ahead of her. She may not know his identity, but she should at least be able to determine his class. I ask of you, what servant are you? Saber doesn't expect an answer. After a brief smile. Servant Assassin, Sasaki Kojiro. The servant's reply is given in a sing-song voice. What? Saber cannot help but be surprised. Servants generally conceal their identities. What servant would so bluntly and proudly give his name? You. Why? Why? What a boorish question. It is only polite to introduce myself before a duel, all the more so against an opponent as beautiful as you. How odd, then, that you should react as you have. The man who introduced himself as Sasaki Kojiro, the assassin, appears to enjoy Saber's confusion. There is no way Saber knows. She has no idea this servant is a swordsman who wields a longsword called Mono Hoshizao, and was rumored to have been an unrivaled swordsman during the Kichao era in Japan. Knowing, of course, would change nothing. The man's origin is unknown, and even his existence is uncertain. His story was told only by word of mouth, and there is perhaps only one person in the world who knows the true identity of the man who was hailed as the greatest swordsman in the world, the man who never left any mark on history but was Sasaki Kojiro's archenemy, and the only one to have ever defeated him. So how can this man be called a hero? The assassin, Sasaki Kojiro, is a presence far removed from Saber herself. Who among heroic servants could know the abilities of a swordsman who could not himself normally be a heroic spirit? However, two things are clear to her. One is that the man before her is an enemy, and the other is that he has willingly identified himself. You are certainly correct. A knight's honor demands revealing oneself when addressed, and that one should return the gesture in kind. Saber's voice is grave. Revealing her true name poses an immense risk. She cannot reveal her true name even under torture, nor does she have any intention of doing so. However, this is only in the name of her pursuit of victory. For this same reason, she cannot tarnish her knight's honor. Kojiro, you said? Assassin. I am. Say no more. I knew you are the sort who must give your name in kind if I do so first. It was I who was boorish. The man descends the stairs gracefully. Assassin confronts Saber, taking slow steps down the stairs. I need not know my enemy in this way. If we are to battle, we shall speak with our blades. Am I wrong, Saber? This should be no surprise. I do not know what you're holding, but the murderous intent surrounding you most certainly belongs to a swordsman. That beautiful, dazzling aura of a swordsman. You can only be Saber. He takes a step closer. Assassin descends the stone steps and points his sword at Saber. I do not care to know your true name. All that matters to me is that the servant known as Saber falls by my blade. There is nothing to discuss. Is that not what it is to be a servant in any case? The swordsman laughs joyfully. I see. Yes, that is true. As Saber speaks, she readies her sword. That's the spirit. Then let us duel, Saber. I must see your swordsmanship, said to be the greatest of all servants. A silver light leaps, solid and soft. The battle between two very different swordsmen begins under the moonlight. Interlude out. So we do get the information about Kojiro, even though Shiro's not the one that witnessed it. Okay, let's check this out. First off, we'll go weapon. The laundry drying pole. Because that's a name. User assassin. A longsword said to have been wielded by the great sword master Sasaki Kojiro. The laundry drying pole is only a nickname. The sword's real name is unknown. Its length is recorded to be over 3 shaku. 1 shaku equals 30 centimeters, so almost a meter long. But the blade assassin wields in the story is a non-standard 5 shaku sword, closer to a spear in length. In combat, such a long reach itself is advantageous, but it seems absurdly impractical for a katana. The laundry drying pole would be effective enough in a one-on-one fight, but its length and weight would disadvantage its wielder. Surely there are no swordsmen able to handle this long sword to a satisfactory level, save for assassin whose esoteric techniques have exceeded human limits. And then servant. Assassin. Sasaki Kojiro. Male. Height is 176 centimeters. 176 cm in feet. That would put him at a solid 5.7 feet. Okay. And 63 kilograms. Puts him at 138.891 pounds. Excuse me. He is okay sized. He's not too tall. He's not too short. He's not too skinny. Neutral evil. C strength. E constitution. A plus agility. E magic. A luck. And a mystery noble phantasm. Oh boy. Here we go. While his existence is met with suspicion, his name remains widely known as that of a peerless swordsman. He was a beautiful swordsman who wielded a 3-foot longsword, Monohoshi Zao. He is said to be born in the Eiroko era and became famous during 1605 to 1612, but the truth is not clear. The books that feature Sasaki Kojiro have many contradicting time periods because his name was not even written down in the Book of Five Rings, written by Miyamoto Musashi, his most worthy opponent. According to records, Kojiro is from the Echizen province and studied under Toda Saigen. He favored the longsword after defeating his master's younger brother, named himself Ganryu. After that, he went around the various lands as martial artist and developed the secret sword technique, swallow reversal, that can kill even a flying swallow in the Nishiki River in the Sau province. Then, after terrifying swordsmen in different lands, he died fighting Miyamoto Musashi at Funashima, what would later become Ganryujima, in order to maintain the honor of the domain he served. Because of his longsword, he could not fight while holding the sheath and discarded it in front of Musashi. Musashi is believed to have said the famous line, "Kojiro has been defeated," after seeing that. Miyamoto Musashi holds the record for being one of the best swordsmen in Japan. Sasaki Kojiro was viewed as a worthy opponent, but his real image is as uncertain as the reflection of the moon on water. People will say there was once someone like that, but the legend of Sasaki Kojiro that has been passed down to the present can only be that of great but fictional swordsmen that people fabricated. D-rank presence concealment to get rid of the presence of servant, fit for covert actions. A-rank mind's eye false resistance to modifications caused by visual disturbances. Natural ability to predict danger, also known as Sixth Sense, and unknown noble phantasm. That was a lot. I wake up to searing pain in my chest. Feels like I've just had a bad dream. Why does my chest hurt? My heart feels like it's burning. Actually, it feels more like It feels more heat from outside has been forced into my body. From outside. I doubt myself briefly, but before I can think of what it might be, I find myself rushing outside. Saber, are you here? I open the sliding screen door to Saber's room. She's not here. Don't tell me she... No, there's no doubt. She's not here. She went to Ryoto Temple on her own. That idiot. Why? She hasn't healed, so why would she... I'm so angry my head is starting to hurt. I didn't tell her I wasn't going to fight. I just didn't want her to get hurt like that again. There's no point in fuming here. I need to hurry to Ryoto Temple. I can't let Saber fight alone. Well, I don't know what good I can do her, but if I get there, maybe I can do something. She's a girl. Why can't she just be... Okay, Shiro. I run. I don't even take the time to change. Out front, I grab a bike and pedal as fast as I can. Not even gonna let Rin know, man. Irresponsible, Shiro. I pedal down the hill without braking. It'll take at least 40 minutes to Ryoto Temple even if I rush. I don't know how long it's been since Saber left, but I need to get to her as fast as I can. Interlude again? Okay. Getting a lot of these interludes. Is it going to be back to... Yep, back to these two. The blades cross. The edges of both swords come into contact again. Stroke after stroke. Sword and katana alike spark as they strike and parry. Several dozen exchanges like this later, and neither opponent has changed position. Assassin standing higher in the steps holds his ground. Saber, who is trying to advance up the stone stairs, cannot get any closer to Assassin. Over time, she bleeds more and more energy. One of Saber's many attempts at rushing in. Assassin effortlessly swings his long blade, fully 1.5 meters, and halts Saber's advance. No, he's not simply preventing any advance. If Saber's blade is lightning, Assassin's katana is a hurricane. Though Assassin may be no match for her in strength or speed, the flexible trajectory of his blade sweeps aside Saber's every attack. The ricocheting katana gains speed and flips back towards Saber's neck like a gust of wind. Even as Saber dodges the blow by only a hair's breadth, the long katana flicks back toward her, giving her not a moment's rest. In contrast to Saber's straight sword, Assassin's blade is curved. The Assassin's cutting edge is graceful, but also draws a long, extended arc. He shouldn't be able to match Saber's sword as it moves in a straight line, but he somehow cancels out that difference. She suddenly stops. Her blade isn't moving fast enough to block Assassin's counterattack. She falls back a pace, knowing it's the only way she can avoid the incoming strike. I'm gonna see if I can get through without pressing the skip button. Assassin's katana traces a fascinatingly beautiful arc, but at the same time it is not so fast that it's nearly impossible to follow. Is this seeming impossibility owed to Assassin's skill, or is it owed instead to Saber being at a disadvantageous position in their battle? Unable to reach a clear conclusion, Saber dodges Assassin's strikes and turns aside the blade as it arcs toward her neck with her own weapon. The next thing she knows, she's retreated a few more steps down the stairs. That's the extent of the long katana's reach. It would be easy to rush close to him once she sweeps his sword aside, but for some reason, she just can't do it. He's got skill! It must be owed to the enemy's superb skills and her own position below him, which puts her at disadvantage. Saber bites her lip, thinking she wouldn't have such a hard time against that long katana if they were on flat ground. This is certainly a problem. I not expected fighting against an invisible blade would be so challenging. Assassin is unmoved. He is fighting purely to defend. He need not chase after a retreating Saber, nor does he have any reason to give up the advantage of the high ground. This must be the first time you've seen a katana. Yes? Probably. My sword is quite wicked. An ordinary opponent would fall but to but a single blow. You, on the other hand, have evaded it spectacularly. This pleases me, Saber. Additionally, your cutting technique was marvelous. You're able to do so much with that small frame of yours. You must be impeccably trained. Assassin watches Saber, his posture relax, perhaps simply because he needn't go on the offensive. The tip of the blade wavers, losing strength. But Saber cannot seize the opportunity. Man is not holding a stance. A long katana like that can only be wielded by as long as the wielder is able to swing the sword from any position. Is something the matter? Surely you're not done. That invisible sword is not simply for show, is it? You do not know when to stop talking. The sword and katana clash. Ah, I have you now. The long sword stops mid-swing. Assassin grins, glancing at his katana where it stopped the invisible sword, then parries again. While Saber catches the flash coming at her neck. Even Saber knows. She has been able to block Assassin's unfamiliar sword work thanks to her invisible sword. Her invisible sword can confuse the opponent's senses, both offensively and defensively. Assassin not following through on his attack is proof of this. Not knowing how long Saber's sword is makes it too dangerous for Assassin to close in on her. If Assassin were to step into attack Saber, he will do so when she reveals her sword. When Saber tries to smash Assassin's forehead. That attack. Assassin dodges it completely as he takes just a step back. He got the reach and the high ground. I have a good idea of its length now. It's roughly 3 shaku and 4 sun, so 90 by 12. Its shape, let's see, as befits your name, is that of a typical Western sword. Assassin may have spoken calmly, but his exceptional skill at appraising of the blade is clear. Saber's strike has been so fast that even were her sword visible, it would have been almost impossible to see. And yet, not only has he managed to defend himself from the invisible blade, he also figured out its size and shape. The blade has no guard on it. I cannot believe it. You've measured my sword without employing any magecraft or having a satisfying exchange with our blades. Surprised? However, this is but a trick of a mere street performer, in my opinion. As a wielder of a wicked sword, such tricks are the only things I get to practice. I would say that was a magnificent sword exchange. I see. Your strategy was to simply parry my strikes and avoid being wounded. I can see now why a coward like you would call himself a wicked swordsman. Well, you must forgive me for not properly trading blows with you. You see, I have this long katana. Were I to properly lock blades with you, it would certainly break. You must be the sort to go all out, but I cannot. I am unable to put my full might into every strike with this katana. Dot dot dot. So it has always been with the katana. Western swords cut with sheer weight and power. Our blades, however, rely upon speed and technique. Do you see now how different our fighting styles are? But then again, it would be disappointing to leave matters like this. Now, Saber, I believe the time has come to stop concealing your true power. Assassin, do you believe I am taking it easy on you? Probably. Are you saying you're not? I do not know what your intentions are, but for you to fight with your sheep on is somewhat insulting. Do you believe I am unworthy of being taken seriously as your opponent? Ooh, that is a very good point. Very good call out. Good on you, Kojiro. You do not seem to see as you do not seem as though you intend to comply. Very well, if you decline to reveal your own, then I shall show you my secret technique first. And with that, the swordsman with the long katana drifts down next to Saber. What? For an assassin to give up his advantageous position is as good as inviting defeat. He may be a superb swordsman, but it was the landscape of their battleground that gave him the advantage. If the two of you fight in level ground, Saber should have no trouble repelling Assassin's attack and taking his head then and there. Assassin should know this well. So why? Brace yourself, or you will die, Saber. Saber instinctively reacts to the smoothness of his voice, for he is speaking the truth. Assassin descending the steps has not put her in the advantageous position. Her intuition, which has enabled her to triumph in so many battles, warns her of her mistake. She readies her invisible sword. There's no room to hesitate. What matters is that she has to attack with her sword before Assassin swings his long katana. Roughly 3 meters separates the two. He readies himself. The stance he takes now is one that he has not taken in their battles so far. Secret technique. Saber charges. The long katana is meaningless now. The moment she draws near the assassin, the katana will become a liability to him. And yet... Swallow reversal. Such logic means little to a swordsman like him. Lightning strikes. Faster than even Saber's blade, the demonic blow strikes down in a single straight line. But it's not as if Saber cannot block such an attack. She quickly raises her sword to defend, repelling Assassin's attack. I got you. Even Assassin will be left open after an attack that is like that is turned aside. In that split-second interval, as Saber attempts to cut through Assassin's stomach. Swiftly, trusting in her instincts, Saber rolls down the stone steps. She rolls away as if she's fleeing. She makes no effort to soften her landing. All Saber does is frantically hurl herself down the stairs, slowing for nothing. Saber stops rolling and gets to her feet. Above her on the stairs, she sees the swordsman standing at his ease. You managed to evade my secret technique. I should expect no less, Saber. You are far and away the superior of a swallow. I cannot believe it. That was... it is nothing to be impressed by. It is something I thought up when I considered how to slay a swallow. He raises his long katana up high. The motion is done as if to mimic the demonic sword's motions he demonstrated earlier to intimidate Saber. Can you see this, Saber? Swallows avoid attacks by trying to catch the wind. Fast or slow, it does not matter. A sword always disrupts the atmosphere, no matter what sort it might be. Swallows feel the tremor and react by changing the direction in which way they are flying. And so, no attack can slay a swallow. A sword can only move along in a single line. It cannot catch a swallow, which can fly through the air in all directions. So your only option is to deny them any path of escape. The first sword attacks the swallow, and the second sword surrounds the escaping swallow as it reads those movements. But they're fast. Long as this katana is, the second sword will surely not reach the swallow in time. If I hope to capture the swallow, I would need to strike with the second sword at the very same instant as the first, but such is well beyond human ability. I accepted the truth of this impossibility, however. However, Unfortunately for you, I had nothing better to do with my time. They say determination is the key to success, and the next thing I knew, I had managed it. A simple, worthless idea like killing a swallow became a secret technique that created a prison by employing multiple simultaneous strikes of the sword. Saber cannot help but disagree with his matter-of-fact narrative. It is untrue. His technique is not as simple as he claims. Execute two attacks simultaneously? Impossible. The two blades struck at exactly the same time. In that moment, there existed two separate katana. Zelrich, a multi-dimensional refraction phenomenon. A servant whose skills reach the level of noble phantasm without using magecraft, but by skill alone. He is certainly to be admired. That single blow made it very clear. Sasaki Kojiro does not possess noble phantasm, as heroic spirits typically do. All he has is his magical sword and its sheer power, reaching the realm of gods. What's astonishing is that this man, a mere human, has managed to stand on equal ground with a heroic spirit who possesses a noble phantasm. But my footing was bad. My swallow reversal typically employs 3 slices. If I had more room, I could have added my horizontal slash. I would assume so. Otherwise, the attack would be incomplete. If everything were to happen at the same time, the second sword's trajectory would naturally slow down. To compensate, there must be a third horizontal attack to prevent the opponent from escaping to the side. Ah, quick study indeed. No wonder you managed to evade my secret technique. How wonderful, Saber. I had so cursed my summoning to this material world, but that lament ends tonight. An opportunity to face an opponent that would have been impossible in my lifetime, and a chance to use my secret attack on them is enough to make this summoning well worth it. Assassin readies his sword again and descends the stone steps. He must be after, Saber said. Saber is not confident. Saber is not confident. Hold up. Saber is not confident she will be able to dodge that secret technique again. We found a grammar mistake! Ha! A grammar mistake has been found, publishers of the English translation of this game. Grammar! Not really sure there's anything I can do about it. Maybe I'll look into it, see if it's like a bug to report or something. I don't know. Like Lancer's Gable, Assassin's Swallow Reversal is a technique that one cannot allow the wielder to use. Except, unlike Gable, against one which can defend once they understand what it is and know that it will strike at the heart, there is no defense against Assassin's secret technique. It cannot be evaded, even when one knows what it is. If there is defense, it lies in preventing him from using that attack. The only way to defeat him is to deliver a devastating blow before Assassin can unleash his secret technique. I see. I should not have taken it so easy on you. She lowers both her hands. Saber drops the tip of her invisible sword as if driving it into the ground and glares up at Assassin as he approaches. Oh, so are you finally resolved to go all out, Saber? Assassin stops descending the stairs and readies his secret technique once more. Saber looks at him bravely. I too have no complaints. Will you be able to endure my attack, Assassin? Saber releases her own restraints. She's released invisible air. The air trembles. As if responding to her will, her sword releases a torrential gust of wind. Assassin retreats several steps. The gale force winds released from Saber's sword are extraordinary. Even the thick trees on either side of the temple gates creak and groan. So strong is the wind, it all but explodes outward from her blade. The atmosphere sealed within is released and roars outward in all directions. Excuse me. Saber's sword releases a gust of wind that could easily carry off a human being. This is her blade's power. The invisible air is, as the name implies, a sword that has sealed up wind. The sword, sheathed in compressed wind, reflects and refracts light to give it the appearance of being invisible. This is what happens when the wind is released. The released air seeks escape and dissipates into its surroundings in chaotic gusts. During that time, her sword's commanding magecraft allows her to freely manipulate the ranging wind. As Saber possesses incredible amounts of magical energy, she should be able to maintain the bounded field for a few minutes. The truth of this is made apparent by the fact that her sword, even after releasing so much energy, remains invisible. This is like a typhoon, however. The howling winds do not die down. The unleashed winds are about to engulf Assassin. This cannot be all of it. I shall see every skill you have concealed, Saber. Assassin closes in despite the raging, blinding wind. Saber's arm moves. The wind-infused blade roars, readying to intercept Assassin, who advances calmly, slowly in spite of the gale force winds, strong enough to prevent most people from even approaching. Interlude out. Also, we got more stuff added about the servant. Woo! Probably just stuff on Swallow Reversal. No. Yep, there it is. It's under a skill. A mystical anti-personnel sword technique. Maximum targets one person. A special move that slashes the opponent with 3 arcs at the same time. Apparently, it is one example of something called multi-dimensional refraction phenomenon. It is a fatal sword that is impossible to avoid in a different sense from Gabolg. He also has more skills that I might have missed. Vitrify, B+. A mind as serene as the calm mirror or still water. A mental defense mechanism that nullifies interference with the mind. Since he is not an assassin, he cannot use Presence Concealment Assassin's ability, but he can still perform Presence Concealment in the form of an artist's blank mind state. But he has Presence Concealment. Knowledge of the Soa, B. A special skill where hitting the accuracy does not go down no matter how many times the same move is used on the opponent. This attack can no longer be seen through. Let's see if Saber... Do we have anything more for you? No. Nothing about invisible air. I had to check. What the hell is that? When I reach Rio de Temple, I'm greeted by the sound of air rushing at me like a typhoon. That must be Saber over there. At the top of the stairs in front of the temple gates, I see an armored figure who must be Saber, fighting someone wearing a kimono. The wind swirls around Saber, and the surrounding trees creak under the gale force intensity. Well, damn, I don't think I can get closer. The wind is so intense I can't even keep my eyes open. Head down, I manage to fight my way closer to the stairs, but the wind only gets stronger. I can't, at this rate. I can't get closer to Saber. Far ahead, I can see Saber fighting someone, but I can't do anything. No, even if I manage to get closer to Saber in this wind, I'll only hold her back. My left hand hurts again. The command spells engraved on the back of my hand tingle. I don't know what that means. But every time my hand tingles, I can't help but to remember that scene. Damn it. Screw this. I close my eyes and stretch my hands toward the stairs. I get down on my hands and knees, hoping to avoid being blown off my feet, and begin crawling up the stairs. The wind intensifies. Even a novice mage like me can tell incredible amounts of magical energy are raging above me. My command spells tingle. The roar of the wind warns me something is happening up above. Wait, could this be Saber's magical energy? If it is, why would she do something so reckless in her state? No, she shouldn't. What? No, should she even be doing something like this? Saber can't recover magical energy. She shouldn't be wasting it like this. I need to step in and handle this fighting and have Saber support me instead. Or else she might run out. Oh, fuck you, Shiro. You can't even stand up and you think you can take up... Okay, you stood up. But you think you can handle the fighting instead of Saber? You think you can make Saber stand in the back? Now, it's not the time to be crawling. I don't know what Saber has in mind, but I have to stop her. As I try to dash to the temple gate, something like a dagger flies right past me. I don't know what miracle let me dodge it. Who's there? I turn to look away from the stairs into the trees. There's no doubt about it. I didn't notice it in this trench of wind, but there's somebody hiding nearby. You coward. Quit hiding and come out. I shout for whoever is hiding in the tree line. The strong winds should have drowned out my voice. To my surprise, my voice echoes up the stairs. The wind died down. I look up towards the temple gate. There. I see a man on a kimono wielding a long sword, and Saber's back. That's enough, Saber. Someone's trying to steal a glance at your secret sword. The man in the kimono smiles as he speaks. Like me, he's staring out into the forest. If we continue, neither of us will emerge victorious. Whoever hides so cravenly in the trees may attack whoever survives our duel, or they may simply be observing and hoping to learn about your hidden blade. In either case, I do not care to involve myself. The man turns to climb the stairs, seemingly totally disinterested. Stop. Do you not intend to settle our match, assassin? Should you attempt to pass through the temple gates once again, we shall settle things. I will not allow you any to pass this gate, no matter who they may be. That, unfortunately, is my only role. If you plan on turning back, I have no intention on stopping you. That fool hiding in the trees, though, is another matter. Should I find myself disliking them, I will not allow them in, even dead, nor will I let them leave, alive. Assassin continues up the stairs. You are manipulated, Saber, but the same goes for me, as I did not notice whoever was lurking in the shadows. Had we continued, I could have shown you the power of my secret technique, but we were interrupted. You should consider yourself fortunate. I feel like they did fully clash in Unlimited Blade Works, but I can't recall. Saber hangs her head in regret. Her intent to kill fades. Not because of Assassin's words, but because Saber must have realized that keeping up the fight would leave her at a disadvantage. Come now, your escort's here too. That boy over there must be your master. I suggest you leave this place before the fool spying on us decides to target him. She didn't even realize, did she? Did she? Did she? And just like that, Assassin disappears. It must be his way of telling us that he won't attack unless we keep going. ... Saber says nothing. She just stands there silently, her back to me. Saber? Even when I call to her, she doesn't answer. Huh? It seems strange, so I begin climbing the steps. Ugh. Saber's armor vanishes. Defenseless in her simple blue clothes, she sways on the spot without turning around. I catch Saber in my arms as she falls backward down the stairs. She doesn't move a muscle. She's unconscious, eyes shut in pain. She didn't fully avoid the attack. Or she pushed herself too hard. And Medusa's not attacking because Kojiro said he might kill her. We finally get home. It took me 2 hours to carry Saber back from Ryoto Temple. I was worried the whole return trip, but we managed to get back safely. I lay Saber down in the hallway. Saber was really light. She probably only weighs about 40 kilos, so it shouldn't have tired me out so much. Excuse me. Or wouldn't have if she'd been still. I had no idea carrying a sleeping person, even a girl, would be so much work. My fatigue is more mental than physical. The feel of her soft skin when I picked her up, the quiet breathing on me, it was all so distracting. Shiro, come on. Why'd you just faint like that? Shiro, you are down bad, man. I look at Saber as she lay there, sleeping. She's probably not completely unconscious. Even if she looks like she's out cold, she might open her eyes the moment I call her name. ... Damn. There was so much I wanted to tell her when I left the house, but I can't say anything with her sleeping, looking like that. Fine, I'll give you an earful after you wake up, Saber. Even now I keep my voice to a whisper. The moment I reach out to pick her up again. Look, I don't care what you're into or what you plan on doing next. It's really not my business, but... For some reason... Tosaka's in the hallway watching, even though it's after 2 in the morning. She's also fully dressed, too. What? You look like you just saw a ghost. I'm not gonna say anything, so you just go on ahead and do whatever you're going to do. I just got up to get a glass of water. You got it all wrong. This isn't what you think. Really. I mean, it's a long story, but the short version is that I was trying to take Saber back to her room. Are you even listening to me? Probably not. Oh, yes. Sort of. You're lying. You sound like you don't understand at all. I got it, okay. Saber went out to fight on her own, and you rushed off to stop her. Right. Something bad happened, then you both came back after Saber fainted. So, did I nail it? In one. Yeah, that's amazing. That's exactly what happened. But how did you know? She probably sent out a familiar, is my guess. How could I not? Saber was obviously going to go off on her own, and a master is immediately alerted to a servant entering battle. It wasn't hard to figure out. I see, I guess that's fine then. So Taosaka thought Saber was going to go. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take Saber to her room? If you let her sleep here, I'm sure even a servant would catch a cold. Well, yeah, that's why I was going to take her to her room. I tried to lift her up, but... It's kind of awkward with Tosaka watching. Would you mind carrying Saber? Me? I mean, I guess, but... Who would make you some tea then? I want to hear what happened. Tosaka picks Saber up. Her being so understanding has me a little worried, but since I asked her for a favor, I'd better go make some tea. Tosaka carries Saber off towards my room. Meanwhile, I work on preparing the tea in the kitchen. She said tea, but I'm assuming she doesn't want green tea, but the only black tea I have is from tea bags. Well, if I don't have it, I don't have it. Tell myself she can complain all she wants and start pouring the hot water over the bag. Do you have a minute? Tosaka comes back. Yeah, hold on a moment. I'll be right there. I put 2 teacups on the tray and carry it out to the living room. And there, sitting next to Tosaka is Saber in her normal clothes. Saber? Why? I thought you were asleep. I'm going to start pressing space. She was, but it's not like she was going to sleep forever. She woke up. Looks like she used a ton of magical energy at once, and it just temporarily shut down. It's kind of like an electrical break or tripping before it shorts out. Who are you? Rin Tosaka does not understand technology! Saber is quiet as Tosaka explains. You. Seeing her back to her usual self, all the frustration I had earlier comes rushing back. Do you have any idea what you tried to do? Of course I do. I made my way to Ryoto Temple and fought Assassin. During our battle, we noticed the presence of a third servant observing us, and so suspended our battle. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to know why you went and fought. Are we to revisit this once again? A servant fights. It is what we do. What I want to know is why you, my master, keep telling me not to fight. All that... I do understand there's no way around fighting, since I've decided to participate in the Holy Grail War, and I know me telling Saber not to fight is contradicting myself, but even so, I don't want to see something like that happen to her ever again. I would like to ask you instead. You seem to dislike combat. Do you truly expect to survive the Holy Grail War with that attitude? Do you not see that if we continue to follow this policy, we will only end up suffering defeat at the hands of the other masters? It's not like that. I'll fight off anything that might pose a risk to us. I certainly don't intend to just let myself be killed so easily. But aside from that, I just don't want Saber to... There we go. Streamlabs is working now. Yes, resume from here. Stream is incredibly unstable, according to this. Okay, now it's stable again. Alright, we have visual, we have audio, right? Test, test, test. Test, test. Yes, we do have audio back. Okay, so it looks like both Fate Stay Night and Streamlabs both crashed, so we are a little bit, can I... Okay, no, I can't. There is only so fast I can skip forwards here. So yeah, we have to play skip to the loo, skip to catch up until we are back to that point. At least I now know that it only goes 2x speed. Not that I think I could keep up with that pace. It's not like a YouTube video where I can keep pace. Because YouTube videos, they say things for me. For reading, no. Excuse me. Skip, 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 skip. Keep going, keep going. I love how their voices are being sped up as well. That's great. Okay. So we are just about back to where we were. Saber's quiet. Try to do... I'm gonna let you fought. All that... there we go. I do understand there's no way around fighting since I've decided to participate in the Holy Grail War. No, me telling Saber not to fight is contradicting myself, but even so, he flashes well with Saber being injured again. Don't want to see that something like that ever happen to her again. Or I'd like to ask you instead. You seem to dislike combat. Do you truly expect to survive the Holy Grail War with that attitude? Do you not see that if we continue to follow this policy, we will only end up suffering defeat at the hands of other masters? It's not like that. I'll fight off anything that might pose a risk to us. I certainly don't intend to just let myself be killed easily. But aside from that, I just don't want Saber to fight. Wrong. It's not that I dislike fighting. I just... This is much simpler than that. You see, girls shouldn't get hurt, and I'm a guy, so I can't let that happen, so I'm going to fight rather than let you fight. Oh, Shiro, Emiya, you are a... Oh... What? Are you saying I cannot fight because I'm a woman? Are you out of your mind? A servant protects her master. We will be hurt in doing, and ye are summoned for that precise purpose. When sex has nothing to do with being a servant. More importantly, are you treating me as a warrior or as a woman? I insist you take back what you have said, Shiro. Please. Saber leans toward me, her eyes blazing with fury. But I won't let her change my mind. It's absurd for her to say she's a warrior before she's a woman. Heck, would someone so frail, light enough for me to easily carry, go and behave so recklessly? No way in hell will I take back what I said. Sure, you might be strong, but you're still a girl. Don't get worked up over something so pointless, you fool. Oh. What? Is it you who are getting worked up over something so pointless? Are you saying you refuse to let a woman protect you? I am already a heroic spirit, so you must let go of such trivialities. It's not trivial at all. If you don't think it's important, I do. Besides, it was a mistake from the beginning to have someone else fight on my behalf. I can't. I can't allow someone to protect someone as helpless as me. I don't want someone to get hurt in my place. I'm the one who should be doing the saving. I've been working so hard to become the kind of person who can help people, just like my old man. Damn it. Listen, just don't fight, Saber. I'll do the fighting. You shouldn't have a problem with that, since it'll be fighting you want, Saber. What? That is absurd. Do you think a human can fight a servant? You should already understand you're no match for a servant. Please recall what happened when Lancer attacked you. Had I not appeared, you would have been killed. So be against any servant. You can't know that for sure unless we try. I just wasn't prepared, but now I can come up with tons of strategies. I might even be able to ambush one of them too. Do not make me laugh. Any defense you employ would be no more useful than a sheaf of paper. I can't believe you'd say that, Saber. You're insulting servants. How can you possibly be so conceited as to believe you, a mere human, could defeat a heroic spirit? Saber and I glare at each other. Our conversation is going nowhere, and there is no sign of reaching any kind of compromise. You've got it wrong, Saber. Shiro isn't insulting servants. This isn't going anywhere as long as you don't understand that much, so I'm stepping in. Rin, what do you mean by that? Well, you see, Shiro generally doesn't want you to get hurt. I don't know why, but Shiro is just a giant ball of dedication and goodwill. Am I right? Saber's more important to you than yourself, right? That's not true. I never said Saber is important to me. Spare me. You wouldn't be ready to fight yourself if that weren't true. You know damn well you can't beat a servant, right? But you saying you'll fight, even so, means Saber is more important to you than yourself. I mean, if she puts it like that, maybe, but... That's why you'll fight, even if it sounds absurd. You'll try to win, even if you know you don't have a chance. And you don't care if you die in the process. Because, and I don't really know why, in that twisted little mind of yours, other people are more important than you are yourself. Well, I don't mean it to be like that. So there you have it. No, now you understand, Saber? He's enough of an idiot that he'd even try to protect you against Berserker. So yeah, he's serious when he says he's going to fight. I don't know how much Tosaka's words actually make it through to Saber. But Saber takes a deep breath and turns towards me. Shiro? What, Saber? I acknowledge that you have the will to fight, and as such, I have an idea. What is it? You must train with the sword. I shall teach you as much swordsmanship as time permits. If you accept that condition, then I will accept your way of thinking. What? Does that mean she's going to train me? Is this because she acknowledged my will to fight? Hold up, Saber. That whole line of thinking is pointless, like emotional flab. Teach Shiro the way of the sword? There's no way he'll be able to go up against a servant. Truth. True, but it is better than doing nothing. At the very least, it should minimize the hesitation he has in battle. I can only bet on Shiro's will and determination, but such is the nature of a real battle. One will never learn if they have no aptitude to begin with. Well, I guess if you put it that way, you're right. You're never ready for a fistfight unless you've actually experienced one in the past. Yes, that is why I would like to try once, nay, as many as times allow. I would like Shiro to experience what death in battle feels like, so he might grow accustomed to battle. The two of them are talking pretty casually about some scary stuff. Hold on a minute, I never agreed to any. Okay then, I'll teach him about magecraft. If Saber's gonna train his body, I'll enrich his mind. Well, that was part of our initial plan anyway, so I guess the formal training will begin tomorrow. Yes, please do so. If you can do that, then I can concentrate on training him with the sword. Good, good. Now that's settled, let's break for tonight. Looks like tomorrow's gonna be busy. Tosaka waves goodbye and disappears into the outbuilding. I shall rest as well. You should do the same, Shiro. I intend to work you hard in the dojo tomorrow. She gives a short bow and goes back to her room. All that remains in the living room is 2 cups of untouched tea and 1 dumbfounded boy. I'd never agreed to this. My words go unheard. Anyway, what was already a confusing situation has grown a hell of a lot more complicated. I can't even begin to imagine what will happen today. I'm going to sleep. I should at least save my energy. Everything starts with the body. Well, yeah. The only thing I can do is cling onto my fragile hope that as long as my body is strong enough, I'll be able to endure whatever torture they might throw at me. And so begins the time of Shiro Emiya, skipping school. So we'll save here. And I'm curious, can I get... I want to see just how many, Sword and Magic is Day 7's name. I want to see the flowchart. Okay, so, no, it was all pretty linear here. There was only this split decision here with Shinji that I do not know how it would go. Oh, no, wait, it wasn't with Shinji. It was something with Medusa, I think. So I wonder if not talking to her... I wouldn't want anyone to get sad if I can help it. If I just use my own limited powers to make people around me happy, the world will be a better place. That was always Kiritsugu's favorite saying. The man who I saw as a champion of justice was saying as he thought he was a failure, that he wasn't good enough. He didn't need to explain it to me. The worlds the young me and the grown-up Kiritsugu lived in were too different, and so the standards of being a hero of justice were different too. When I was young, this house was my entire world. So my old man, Fujini, myself, and my favorite shed were the only things that needed protecting. All I thought I had needed to protect was what I could see around me. But Kiritsugu wanted to do something for those he couldn't see or reach. I was reckless when I was young. I built myself up by cursing the cruel world. The world was cruel, so I became cruel as a way to make my ideals reality. There will always be those who cannot be saved. You just can't save everything. If in the process of trying to save 1,000, you overlook 500, then I will abandon 100 to save 900. That is the most efficient way. That is the ideal, Kiritsugu once told me. Of course, I got mad hearing that. It really ticked me off. Because I didn't have to be told that, since I already knew that. Because I knew firsthand that it was that very idea which led to me being saved. I didn't need to be reminded about something so obvious. But I still believe that a hero of justice could save everyone despite those limitations. Because that's what a hero of justice was. Someone who could still perform miracles no matter how idealistic or unattainable they might be. You're right, Shiro. Results are the most important thing. But apart from that, what's even more important is to have the heart. What did Kiritsugu say about heart again? I don't remember. It's not often I reminisce about something from so long ago. I must be in a deep sleep. Otherwise, I wouldn't be dreaming in the first place. Shiro wakes up. Wake up, it's almost time for breakfast. See? Saber's waking me up. It's pathetic. What? I bolt upright and out of my futon. It's 6:30 in the morning. Fresh sunlight pours in from outside. Shiro, it is morning. Do you need to prepare breakfast? Saber is staring right at me. I overslept. Sorry, I'll get up right away. You have nothing to apologize for, but you have no time to relax. It appears Sakura and Rin were arguing earlier. Sakura and Tosaka are arguing. What's going on? Hold on, don't throw me into a situation I don't understand just as I'm waking up. Is that happening in Tosaka's room? No, the living room. I just passed by, so I don't know the details. Got it. I'll head there now. Oh, but there's something I forgot to do. What is it, Shiro? Good morning, Saber. Thanks for waking me. I greet her and then head out to the hallway. But seriously, what the hell did Tosaka do to start an argument with Sakura? In the living room, there is no sign of Sakura. Tosaka is alone, casually watching the weather forecast on TV. Morning. What a way to start the morning, shouting my name like that. She turns around as if to ask if something had happened. Huh? That's weird. It doesn't look like she was fighting with Sakura at all. Morning. Hey, Tosaka, I heard you and Sakura were arguing. Is that true? Oh, from Saber. Yes, it may have seemed that way to an outside observer, but it was nothing really. I just told her not to come here for a while. Fair. Shiro's not gonna like that, though. She's so casual about basically banning Sakura from my house. That's ridiculous. Sakura already said no to staying away from this house, so there's no way she would agree, even if we asked again. She wouldn't agree, but she went home after I presented her with a compromise. I told her I would go back home without arguments if she stays away for a week. She agreed to those terms. She went home, even if she was a little reluctant. Oh, she also sends her regards. You did what? Why would she do something like that without telling me? Dot dot dot. Actually, I shouldn't yell at her for it. Tosaka's just done something I should have. You're right. Sorry for making you be the bad guy so early in the morning. You must feel terrible, Tosaka. No, it wasn't bad or unpleasant to me. Why would you think that, Shiro? Because weren't you and Sakura friends? Telling Sakura to leave not once, but twice doesn't sound like a fun job. That's why I feel bad. I'm the one who should take charge, but made you do the dirty work again. That's fine. I just kicked Sakura out for my own safety. There's no reason for you to apologize. What do you mean, for your own safety? Well, you said Shinji's a master, right? Knowing him, if Shinji finds out Sakura comes here, he'll target this place, so it's best to keep Sakura away from here until we're finished dealing with Shinji. Ah, I get it. She makes a good point. Shinji said he doesn't tell Sakura anything. I don't think he was lying. But if he finds out his little sister comes here so often, he might get the wrong idea. Alright, it could look to Shinji like we're taking Sakura hostage. Not really. Exactly, but more importantly, this place is still dangerous. I wouldn't want her to be walking around at night, so it's best for her to stay away for a while. This is for Sakura's own safety, as well as ours. Yeah, you're right. I feel bad for Sakura, but I'll just have to apologize and ask her forgiveness later. Though I won't be able to explain myself even when the time comes. This is really getting to me. I feel really bad about turning Sakura away like this, even if it's temporary. She's been so unselfish about helping me for all this time. Oh, you look really down. What happened to all that energy you had when you shouted at me earlier? Are you all sad and lonely not having Sakura around? Tosaka grins maliciously. Crap, I knew she'd tease me when I'd shown vulnerability, but I went and did it again. Leave me alone. Sakura was the symbol of peace at our house. She offset whatever Fujini and I were lacking. So of course I'm down about us sending her away for our own selfish reasons. Oh, so you do understand. If you can say that much, then you pass. I say you're starting to get more determined. What are you trying to say? Don't you get it? Once this war ends, Sakura will come back. You say you don't want the Holy Grail, but that just means you should fight to take back the peaceful life you had before. See? Now you have a clear goal. Tosaka smiles her very biggest smile. When she puts it like that, I really have no choice but to agree. Damn, I don't know what to say. What she said there confirms that she's both mean-spirited and ridiculously awesome at the same time. Mean-spirited, yet awesome. So Sakura won't be coming here for a while. Yeah, that's what's going on. Why don't you do your parents a favor and go home once in a while for a change? Gramps was complaining about his daughter neglecting him. Leave Dad out of this. He's not gonna die or anything, whether I'm there or not. With Sakura gone, I have to be even more vigilant. You're still a boy, so if anything fishy happens here, I'll be the one who gets in trouble and even loses her job. If that happens, are you gonna take responsibility, Shiro? Excuse me. That'll never happen. Sadly, since I'm a man, I can't really confidently deny that. Emiya, why'd you just stop? She glares. Tosaka's eyes bore into me from one side. I don't think anything would happen. Tosaka's not staying here for fun, you know. I sure know that. Good, I'm just glad to hear that. Sounds like Emiya's trustworthy, Miss Fujimura. Of course, even from my point of view, Shiro is really composed. So much so, he might be overdoing it. ... Saber continues to eat in silence as she observes the two interacting. It's been 2 days, but I don't think I'll ever get used to this. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Shiro. It's about the Kyoto Club. Did you hear Mitsuzuri got hurt? Mitsuzuri? Did she pick a fight with someone in another club again? Honestly, she really needs to calm down. She's going to be a third year soon. So how's she doing? Is she hurt bad? No, she's fine. She's just sprained her ankle. She's apparently attacked by some shady guy on her way home. You know she runs fast. She made a mad dash, but it sounds like she fell and got hurt. See, I'm glad nothing bad happened, but honestly, whoever tried to attack her is either really a daredevil or they're just reckless. Either way, they were a fool. I just thought. You thought she'd have knocked the culprit out rather than run? Fujini grins. Yep, she sure knows Ayako Mitsuzuri well. Yeah, it's rare for Mitsuzuri to run away. I guess she's not so tough against thieves. I suppose things worked out for the best. Something like that will probably teach her a thing or two about being feminine. Shiro, shut up, dude. I munch on my rice, nodding approvingly. Hey, Emiya. Suddenly, Grin Tosaka slaps my shoulder, smiling at me. I have some news for you. What? I doubt it'll be more interesting than what I just heard. Yeah, I never mentioned before, but Ayoko and I are really good friends. Do you know we're close enough we hang out on weekends? Wait. Why are she and Mitsuzuri friends? Come again. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to make sure I tell her every single word you just said. I'm sure if I tell her about how happy Emiya was when he heard her predicament, I'm sure she'll bring 10 stacks of tiles from sheer delight. I would like to amend my statement. See, it was just a figure of speech, not something I'd be proud if people heard, so I would really appreciate it if you kept it to yourself. Oh, really? Well, I could keep quiet about it, but it would be really hard for me to do that unless maybe there was something maybe in it for me. I just might accidentally slip up, you know? Can't believe this. Sure, you sound sincere, but I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. I'm not playing around here. Yeah, there's no misunderstanding here. She's enjoying this. Got it. I'll start making Western-style breakfast from now on. You said it earlier. You mentioned that breakfast should have bread. Good. And I think some jams apart from marmalade would be nice. Like strawberry jam. I don't know what you have against Japanese breakfasts. You're a foreigner wannabe. Can't believe you would so radically change our breakfast just to suit your needs, you tyrant. That is not entirely true. I would also be pleased to have bread served at breakfast. Soft-boiled eggs would also be an excellent addition. Saber jumps right into the discussion. Is that so? Fine. You all just want Western-style food, damn it. Sakura makes a Western-style breakfast one time and it goes right to your heads. Fine, then I'll serve bread tomorrow. So no more complaints, right? So what was said here stays here. Don't you dare blab about this to Mitsuzuri. I huff and shove rice into my mouth without looking at either of them. And then... Why would you be doing something so pointless? Fujini, who has been watching our conversation with a look of wonderment, finally speaks up. What do you mean, pointless? Even if Tosaka isn't going to say anything, I'm going to tell Mitsuzuri anyway. No way would I pass up talking about something so interesting. Fujini shakes her head disapprovingly as she eats. Actually, I need to think of a way to deal with her. I'm really in trouble. Breakfast ends and it's 7:30. Fujini surprisingly stays back and suggests the three of us walk to school. But we can't do that. I made a decision last night. Now that I've said I won't rely on Saber, I can't afford to take it easy anymore. Then let's go. Did you lock up, Shiro? No, don't worry about locking up. I'm not going to school today. I wave Fujini and Tosaka off. Fujini freezes, stupefied for just a few seconds. What? What do you mean you're not going to school? Tosaka beat Fujini to the chase. That's right. You don't look sick enough to miss school today, Shiro. No, but my scar hurts. You know how my scar hurts when the weather changes. It's like that. You're lying, Shiro. Yeah, but let me off the hook just for today, Fujini. It's not that I don't like school. There's just something I have to do. And it's more important right now, so let me go. Oh, come on. How can I respond if you're going to put it like that? You always were caged when you had something really important to take care of. Fujini is complaining, but at least she understands. So there it is. I'll leave the school to you, Tosaka. Okay, not much is going to change just because you're not there. That's not a bad idea, Emiya. Yeah, leave the house to me. I'm not going to work for a while either, so I won't be leaving the house much. Got it, then I'm headed out, Shiro. If you're going to skip school because you're hurt, you shouldn't leave this house much. Well, see, I'm giving you a pass today, but you're going to have to discuss this with me beforehand next time. Okay, so more Saber bonding. I should probably clean the floors. I told Saber to meet me here a little later. I always just do the bare minimum of cleaning in here. It's been years since I sparred with anyone in this place. It'd probably be rude to both the dojo and Saber if I don't clean up a little. Honestly, I don't know what she's going to do for sword training. I sparred using a shinai with Kiritsugu many times, but Kiritsugu and I never cared about proper form. It was more like a couple of amateurs beating each other up. I never really had any plans to practice kendo seriously, and I was really only taught how to fight opponents wielding a sword. I was never keen on using tools in a fight. My interest was always making and fixing them. In that sense, this might be the first time for me to learn proper swordsmanship in any serious sense. Saber swordsmanship is different from kendo, but I'm sure there are some things in common, and I don't think they're so different I won't be able to keep up. I hear the door open. Saber arrives precisely on time. Shiro was so arrogant. That works out well since I just finished cleaning. Sorry, made you wait. I was thinking of having you teach me here. Yes? Is something the matter, Shiro? You look like you've just seen something unusual. It's nothing. I was just surprised you're still in the same clothes. I thought you were going to wear your other outfit. We're training with swords, so I immediately thought of Saber in her armor, since that's what she always wears when she's fighting. If you prefer me armored, I can change. You're right, I was not thinking. Even should we be only practicing, I'm disrespecting you by not wearing my armor. My apologies. I will change right away. Oh, that's not what I meant. I just misunderstood. It's fine. I actually prefer you in this outfit to your armor. Huh? Are you not saying my outfit is unsatisfactory? Unsatisfactory? I mean, you don't look like you're dressed for about right now, but it shouldn't matter as long as you're comfortable. Wearing armor all day will just tire you out. That may be true, but don't you think this is an inappropriate look for wielding a sword? Why would you think that? It's not weird. You look good. Shiro... I think you look better right now than you do in your armor. I do not understand. This outfit is certainly easy to move in, but it is ill-suited for combat. I believe this is an adequate look for a Saber. Inadequate look. Don't you dare wear that outfit in a fight, dummy. You're a girl, Saber. Girls look good in outfits like this. so this is fine. Shiro. And then, I return the rag I'd been cleaning with to the bucket and bring back 2 shinai that had been leaning against the wall. So what are you planning for training, Saber? I'm leaving everything to you to decide, so tell me anything, no matter how absurd it might be. I toss her the bamboo sword. Saber seems distracted as she catches the shinai and stares at me quietly. She got that blush! Is there something wrong with the bamboo swords? Okay, so she doesn't... So, Saber is a bit complicated. She doesn't like when Shiro treats her as a woman over a warrior, but then there are times where she does like being treated and seen as a woman, I guess? Complicated. Don't tell me you want to use wooden sword, or even real blades. She really is a tough instructor. This is beyond anything I imagined. Oh, no, that's not it. These are certainly excellent mock swords for practice sessions, so let us use them. Saber draws in a deep breath and goes right back to the normal Saber as I know her. That's a relief. It'd be too noisy to spar with wooden swords. So what are we gonna do? Are you gonna make me strengthen my body by swinging 500 times or running laps? That will not be necessary. From what I observed, your athletic abilities are above average. If we intend to further fortify your body, it would take more than a day or 2. You may be unskilled as a mage, but you are not a bad warrior. You must have trained hard from a young age. Oh, that's all I was really good at. You don't have to be talented in magecraft to work out physically. That must have worked in your favor. One of the reasons you survived Lancer's attack must be that very training. But it would not be enough for you to defend yourself. Humans are bound by limitations. Your body has not yet reached its limit, and breaking through that limit would be difficult. That is why I will be teaching you only one thing: how to fight. What do you mean, just fight? Based on your tone, it doesn't sound like you'll teach me how to fight. Of course not. The techniques employed in battle cannot be learned overnight. All I can do is make certain master experiences as many battles as possible. I'm not a skilled teacher, so I'm baffled that you would seek my guidance. Hello? Having her sound so proud about that makes it a bit awkward for me as her student. So we're just going to be having a bunch of matches. Yes, that is all, Master. We shall not soften our blows. We will fight as if we mean to kill each other. Well, you will understand after perhaps an hour. Saber readies herself, gently gripping her shinai. I tilt my hand, wondering what she means, but I also grip my shinai as Saber does. At that instant, my vision goes black. Saber is teaching me one very simple lesson. No matter what I do, no matter what strategy I come up with, none of it will change the outcome of a fight against someone I just don't have a chance of beating. She's beating into his head that he cannot fight a servant. Ouch, that hurt. It's definitely broken. If it were broken, your arm would look far worse. It may be a bad bruise, but you will recover soon. Okay, then let's keep going. Do you intend to continue, Shiro? It may be a bruise, but you should not move again so quickly, says the person who didn't hesitate to charge at my arm. Fine, if you don't feel it, I'll use this opportunity. I got her. Nope. Obviously. Please listen to me. You're obviously fatigued. You must rest or all our training will be in vain. But it's a disgrace for you to beat me so badly when you're so obviously taking it easy on me. If I can't even get you to so much as raise a brow, I'll be too frustrated to even collapse. If you want me to be surprised, I'm plenty surprised. I knew you were stubborn, but I entirely failed to anticipate to this extent. Well, sorry about that. I hate losing. Yes, you have demonstrated that many times. So you didn't say so. Well, you will take a break, so please put your bamboo sword down. The floor is slippery with sweat. We're not trying to carry out mock battles in extreme situations, so there's no point carrying on while we are exhausted and on unstable footing. Why not? I thought combat training was supposed to simulate worst-case scenarios. If not, that is even more pointless. Listen, Shiro. If you say you're going to fight against a servant, doing so will be pointless unless you are in peak condition, have the best footing, and a prepared path of retreat. Unless the conditions are perfect, you will not be able to fight against a servant. Your desire to fight while you are in the worst possible state is foolish in itself. So what you're saying is I shouldn't even bother trying to fight in situations like this? Exactly. In a situation like this, there is no miracle which would save you, Shiro. Your best way to fight should be to fully prepare yourself, then pursue the best course of action in a given situation. Got it. Then I'd like to take a break. I slump against the wall and slowly slide down to the floor. I exhale. Air should be what I feel coming from my lungs, but instead there is only heat. Ow. While my body is throbbing with pain, I glance towards the clock on the wall. It's a little past 11 o'clock. We started around 9, so we've been sparring for about 2 hours. During the first hour, I was just getting beat up. Saber struck suddenly, then I blacked out. I woke up thinking I would be more careful, then just got knocked right back out. After getting beat up repeatedly, my body seemed to get used to it, or maybe my anger just triggered some latent power, but eventually I did manage to block the first blow. The problem came after that. Here's the thought. Would humans dare to, or even be able to fight back against an opponent who's so much stronger and more skilled? You only. The answer was no, because I blacked out the instant I flinched. After that, it was just a repeated show of cat cornering a rat. If, no matter how I tried to block the attack, I was just going to fall, mortally wounded, then I had no choice but to attack in desperation. Of course, she deflected my attacks easily and knocked me out, but as I got used to it, I started getting enough time and awareness to intuit that the next attack would kill me, so I had just enough time to think to myself, oh crap. I guess in a general sense, I was getting into the swing of things. So after that, I went on the defensive. My intuition kept screaming at me the next attack would knock me out, so I tried to avoid it. No, come on. Stop. Like any living thing would. It's going too fast now. My throat is getting dry as well. I need a drink. I managed to parry Saber's Shinai attacks as they rained down upon me, and while I waited for an opening counterattack, she struck a fatal blow. I managed to stand up and think that next time I'd last longer, then think maybe I should just go on the offensive before she can strike, since I couldn't hold out anyway. And that went on for 2 hours. I'm not sure this is going to make me stronger, but I do think it's helping me get used to fighting. Practice so I'm neither confused nor too calm in the face of the enemy. All I'm doing is teaching myself that I'm a single mistake away from death. But if you asked me if I thought this was meaningless, I'd say no. With no effective weapon to use, the feeling of constantly being on edge is the most important thing I have. Job well done. Are you hurt anywhere, Shiro? The next thing I know, Saber's right next to me. I'm so exhausted, I'm dripping sweat all over the floor. Saber isn't even breathing hard. It'd be hard to find anywhere that doesn't hurt at this point. You really didn't hold back, Saber. I actually felt extraordinary having you just come at me without a chance of defending myself. I have to admit, I'm saying that entirely because I'm a sore loser. Yes, I did try to bring myself down to your level, but I also tried to show you no mercy. No real battle would involve making things easy for you. Yeah, thanks for this training. I think I can calmly deal with a Doberman running at me with its leash off. Then again, I wouldn't be good enough yet if it's just a Doberman, so I'll still need more training. I'm in a moment of honest reflection. I've always thought I trained myself more than the average person, but now I'm ashamed for throwing in the towel after just 2 hours of sparring with Saber. Good gracious. That is not true. Your attacks were all quite powerful. I was so enthused by your efforts, I forgot to strike back at times. Oh. I'm suddenly embarrassed again. For a while, we'd just been two people sparring with our Shinai, with no thought given to being a man and a woman, but now she's caught me off guard. Hold on. I'm gonna go drink some water. Water? I'll fetch you some. Please, stay here and rest. Saber goes to get some water. That was a close one. Huh. Close? What was so close? I drink the water Saber brings to me, and I drink the water I have right next to me. We are not the same. It must still be break time, as Saber is sitting formally in a kneeling position. Saber is so beautiful when she does that kind of thing. I'm not saying that as a man finding a woman attractive, but because I find her beautiful as a human being. It's still strange to think that she's a Saber, a servant, and someone dedicated to fighting. Right now, there's only me and Saber. This might be a good conversation to strike up a good opportunity for me to strike up a conversation. So I'll ask. Oh boy. I'll write that. So first things first. We have 3 options here. Have I missed out on anything? No. This is 3 options. So what do we got then? We have the reason to fight. I want to know why she seeks the Holy Grail. I want to know more about Saber before she became a servant. Or I need a trump card. It's nice to have some sort of secret blade technique or something. The last one is pure idiocy. No. Saber doesn't even have a secret blade technique. She just blasts everything or uses her sheer strength and agility to beat down her foes. Want to know more about Saber before she became a servant, or want to know why she seeks the Holy Grail? Those two are kind of intertwined, but asking about her before she became a servant, we have already previously stated in-game that we should not ask Saber anything of her past, because Shiro is a weak point, and if he is compromised, then the enemies could determine something about Saber's past to determine her true identity. So I think asking more about her life before she became a servant is the wrong choice. Asking her motivations for the Grail, though, so what her wish would be, that would be a good choice if we are trying to keep our word to not, I guess, intrude on Saber's past for her own safety. So, the reason to fight, I want to know why she seeks the Holy Grail. Why does she want to fight so much? I might be able to understand her convictions a little bit more if I figure out why she wants the Holy Grail. But can I really ask her that? Can I ask you something? Yes? What is it, Shiro? Well, there's something I forgot to ask. Excuse me. You're lending me your power because you want the Holy Grail, right? So what is your wish for the Holy Grail? Why I seek the Holy Grail? Will you be satisfied if I simply tell you I want it? The Holy Grail is an omnipotent vessel. There is no wish it cannot be granted once you obtain it. One should hardly need a reason for seeking such a thing. No, that's not what I'm asking. Saber, you're dodging the question. Shiro, that's... I'm not asking you why you seek it. I want to know the wish you want granted. But if you don't want to tell me, you don't have to. Wishes aren't always something to be shared. Saber closes her mouth, embarrassed. I'm not surprised. Saber didn't form a contract with me to help me. Masters are the only ones who can obtain the Holy Grail, so she's only here to assist with that. And that's why she's hesitant to tell me her wish. But most of all, I don't want to hear her tell me about her selfish wish. So I shouldn't have asked. Besides, it's disrespectful to someone without a clear wish to ask what someone else's wish is. Are you commanding me as my master? That catches me off guard. Saber turns to look at me, her gaze as serious as her tone. No, I'm not. I didn't mean it that way. I was just curious. Sorry for asking such a dumb question. No, as a servant, I do need to disclose my desire to my master. Shiro, I seek the Holy Grail to fulfill a certain obligation. I desire the Holy Grail to fulfill... I desire the Holy Grail's power to fulfill the responsibility I failed to see through to the end in my lifetime. She looks straight at me. I see no deceit in her eyes. Fulfill an obligation. And you say lifetime. Do you mean before you became a servant? Yes, in all honesty, I'm uncertain of my own intentions. Perhaps I only desire to do things over. Saber looks down quietly. For a moment, she looks like a lost child seeking repentance. Okay, I'm actually relieved. I was worried you were going to say something Tosaka would say, like world domination. Ray would be angry if she heard that, but she's not the type to say such a thing. She may use the Holy Grail for herself, but her wish would certainly not bring chaos upon the world. You think so? I still think she probably shouldn't be the one to get the Holy Grail. I nod to myself. All the while, Saber watches me. Her expression. Gentile. This conversation ends here. I should never have brought this up. I'm curious. We did earn Saber's affection with that. Alright. The mood between the two of us eases thanks to the mention of Tosaka, and I decide it's best not to pry. But the ache in my heart still remains. Even though I was relieved to know Saber's wish was not a materialistic one, I felt there was still something amiss with it. There's a lot wrong with it, but you don't know that. Exactly. Anyway, now that we've talked a bit, my body's cooled down, so we should get back to training. Let's go again. I've had a chance to rest. Are you sure? You do seem to have cooled down, but you also appear to be in pain. It's fine, just bruises, so I can deal with it. Besides, I'm healing automatically now anyway. But if it gets worse, this train will be pointless. I believe we should wait longer and see. It's fine, I want to do more with her before Tosaka comes home. I wouldn't want her seeing me in this state. I understand. It would not do to have Rin, who will eventually become our enemy, learn about your abilities. Reckless though it may be, I suppose we should pick up the pace a bit. Saber picks her Shinai up from the floor, but then, a really out-of-place sound echoes through the dojo. I think her stomach is growling. Seems I'm hungry. I had not noticed engrossed in our training as I was. Yeah, now that you mention it, it's lunchtime. I can't blame her stomach for growling. I'm not that hungry yet, but if Saber is, we should have lunch. And if during that time I heal more, that's even better. It's lunchtime anyway. I'll go buy some groceries so you can rest in the living room. If you're going out, I will accompany you. I'll be fine. I'm just going to the shopping district nearby. No one would attack me in broad daylight, and you might just attract more attention if you did come with me. Are you sure it will not be dangerous? I'm sure. Just wait here. I'll be right back. And off he goes. I grab my wallet and head out. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes to get to the shopping district by bike. The bicycle I take from the garage today is Unit 2. Unit 1 is still parked in front of Ryoto Temple. Unit 1 and Unit 2. Clever names. I bike down the hill. I haven't gone to the shopping district midday on a weekday since I was a kid. The intersection is packed with housewives returning from midday shopping. They're coming from the neighborhood shopping center Sakura and I frequent. I finished buying a bag of groceries, enough food to make lunch for 2, and a light snack. I don't buy anything for dinner since Tosaka's in charge of that tonight, but I do buy enough bread for 4 for tomorrow's breakfast. I don't know how to make strawberry jam, so I reach for the cheapest. Oh no, that might get some complaints, so go for an expensive jar instead. This is relating into my wallet. Why the hell do I have to spend 1,000 yen on something so sugary? I load the groceries onto my bike as I grumble. But then, I feel someone tugging at me from behind. I turn around wondering who it is. Ilya! Standing there is a silver-haired little girl. I stumble backwards, knocking over my bike. While I brace myself, the girl just looks up at me with a smile. What? I can't sense so much as a hint of animosity or murderous intent from her. To top it all off, the little girl says, "I'm glad to see you alive, big brother." She looks so happy. The hell? She's definitely Berserker's master. She's the master of the monster who almost tore me in half with a single blow. Not the sort of person I'd expect to just run into in the shopping district in the middle of day. You're not planning to fight here, are you? Why would you say something silly? We're not supposed to fight while it's still light out. The little girl pouts. She's certainly acting like a little girl she seems to be. I have no idea what she must be thinking. I can at least sense that she doesn't pose any threat, though. You can call me Ilya for short. What's your name? Me? I'm Shiro Emiya. Emiya Shiro. That's a tongue twister. Nobody ever says it like that. If it's hard to remember, just call me Shiro. That's my first name. That's easier. Shiro, huh? Yep, has a nice ring to it. It's simple, but also kind of haughty at the same time. Like something you might name your pet polar bear. Elise Vale looks at me suggestively. I find myself shifting my weight so I can be ready to run at an instant purely by instinct. She is Berserker's master. If she gets it in her head, she can probably just order him to crush me, along with the florist next to me. You don't have to be so tense, Shiro. I left Berserker at home today. You didn't bring Saber with you either, so we're even. Elias Vale looks up at me cheerfully. I'm not sure even is the right word. Hey, let's talk. There's so much I want to talk to you about. The little girl tugs on my arm as if she were taking her father's hand. Wait a minute, what's the big idea? Is this some weird new strategy you thought up? What do you mean? I just want to talk. Kids make friends and talk with them all the time, right? That may be true, but that doesn't really apply to us. We're both masters and we've already fought each other before. We're actually enemies. That's not true. I don't have any enemies. The other masters are more like pests to me. But if you're good, I might let you go. She smiles wide as she says this. Just stay back, okay? What's wrong with you? I jerk my arm to throw Elise Vale's hand off. She's about to fall. She nearly falls flat on her back because of how hard I shook her off. Crap, Ilya. I don't know why I did that. Next thing I know, I'm reaching for Ilya's Vale. Her aim is too long. Ilya's ways to catch her before she falls to the ground. I lower Ilya to the ground without saying a thing. Ilya is silent. I don't know what to say myself, so I just stand there looking down at Ilya. Well, this is awkward. So awkward, in fact, that I'm just about to turn around and leave, but then... Why? Do you hate me or something? She asks with the same glow in her red eyes that she had when she spoke to me the other night when she was with Berserker. A chill runs down my spine. I sensed no danger earlier, but she's just reminded me that she's still Berserker's master. If I cross her, I'm dead. I'd never be able to face Saber if I died in vain here, and everyone in the shopping district would get dragged into this as well. Yeah, that's a safe bet. Ilya is willing to use her powers anywhere. Fine, you just want to talk, right? I'll do what you want then. So, will that be alright, Ilya? Yep. Then let's go to the park. I passed by it earlier and there was nobody there. She switches gears so quick. Ilya skips towards the park. Come on, hurry. If you don't, I'll leave you behind, Shiro. Ilya spins around as she runs through the shopping district. She really did go ahead without me. I'm more moved than I am confused. Apparently once you promise Ilya something, she treats it as the absolute truth. And that's why she just skipped off so happily. It's also why, even though she left me behind, I don't even consider taking the opportunity to run for it. I've already promised her I was going to talk with her, and she clearly trusts that. That's with her. She sure is unstable. But then again, I haven't yet gotten to an age where I'm so cynical to betray a little girl's trust. She's older than you, Shiro. Ilya and I are the only two in the park a little ways away from the shopping district. Kids are in school at this hour, so maybe the park's not as popular anymore. Our conversation begins in intense, wintry air of the park. So let's talk. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to know about Saber? About Saber? Why? Her masters. Don't you want to get information about the other servants? I don't want to talk about that kind of stuff. I'll get bored if we don't talk about something funner. I don't really find anything in particular boring, but okay. What do you think is fun? I don't know. I haven't really talked to people much, so I don't know what to talk about. So you brought me out here, not knowing what to talk about. Didn't anyone teach you to think before you act? They didn't they? From now on, you're gonna be a proper, thoughtful adult. No thanks. I'll leave all that to you, Shiro. It's a man's responsibility to escort a lady, so I just have to follow you. She smiles and leans up against my shoulder. She doesn't seem like she's being touchy-feely. If anything, it's like a small animal huddling against something to stay warm. Huh. Now that I'm paying more attention, she does look cold. Are you cold? Yeah, I am. I don't like the cold. She breathes out a puff of white mist. Though she says she doesn't like the cold, she seems enchanted by her misting breath. I see, it's a lot colder than usual today. You'll just have to endure the cold for now, but where did you come from? Your name sounds kind of noble or something. I'm not kind of noble, I am a noble. I was born in an old castle owned by the Einsborn family. It was always cold and snowing, so I'm used to it being cold like this. You're born in a cold country, so shouldn't you be used to the cold then? Yes, but I just don't like it. I like it warm better. Don't you like it warm too, Shiro? Yeah, obviously. I'd rather it be warm than cold. My man! I know. That's why I like to stay inside and keep warm when it's cold out. But I like snow. It's white, and Father said it was like my hair. Swinter. Need some swinter. I clap my hands together in wonderment. Now that she's mentioned it, I realize something. I didn't know what Ilya reminded me of, but if there ever was such a thing as a snow fairy, it would probably look like her. Your dad's pretty clever. Your hair is like snow. Soft and white. Right. I'm proud of my hair. I got it from my mother, and it's the only girly thing about me. Ilya giggles joyfully. Seeing her acting this way leaves me numb. If I hadn't already seen it for myself, I'd never believe this girl could be Berserker's master. What about you, Shiro? Did you get anything from your dad? Don't say a magic crest, okay? I want to know what you got from your dad as his son, not as a master. Me? I guess the last thing I got from him was the house. For that, my last name, and the first thing I got was a chance at living again when I was about to die. I was the only one Kiritsugu managed to save in that fire 10 years ago. Let's see, I didn't get any physical features like you did from your parents, but I got plenty of things that were just as good. Ilya looks delighted as if it was a story about her. Who wouldn't be happy seeing a smile like that? But from what you just said, you didn't get his magic crest. That's weird. Does that mean you're not a master? Well, I'm an apprentice mage without a magic crest, but I am a master. Now that you mention it, you're a master, which makes you a mage, right? I'm not a mage. I'm a master. I was never taught magecraft. Lies! Then you didn't inherit your parents' magic crest? But I thought your family was a prominent one since you have a castle and all. That's true, but don't you need a magic crest to be a master? So that's why I'm a master. Ilya tilts her head in confusion. Huh? Now I'm confused too. Ilya's words seem off. It feels like we're each having a different conversation here. Let me ask something. Where do you live? It sounds like you just came here for the Holy Grail War. Does that mean you're living in a hotel right now? Well, for starters, it'd be bad if she didn't have a guardian. Letting a child like her come to Japan on her own is just terrible parenting. Hotel? Like a vacation villa? Yeah, I guess so. Not a house, but just somewhere you stay. Then yes, do you see that big forest over there? There's a Western-style mansion my grandfather's grandfather built over there. I was told that the Ainsworth family masters stay there for the Holy Grail War. Ilya points west. Yeah, there's a deep forest in the mountains there. The place hasn't been developed yet. It takes about an hour to get to that forest by car. Did you come all the way from there alone? Yep, I snuck out today. Sola and Liesrate may be my maids, but they're so annoying. I came all the way to Japan, so I think I could go out and do some things. I may have always gotten what I wanted, but I've been shut in my room all this time, so this should be my reward. You were locked up in your room? Yeah, I wasn't allowed outside when it snowed because it would be bad for my body. That's why I usually played in my room. But I'm fine. It's not as cold here as in the castle, so I'm fine by myself. Ilya beams proudly. She swings her legs back and forth, seeming to be genuinely enjoying herself. ... I find myself reaching into my grocery bag. I take out the dorayaki, a Japanese pancake filled with red bean paste. I bought to give it to Saber, and without knowing why, I hand it to Ilya. What? It's not the fanciest thing, but it's good. Huh? What is this? Food? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sweets, but this is the only exception. This was a favorite tea snack my old man and I shared. So you're giving this to me? Yeah, it's not as good if you eat it alone, so let's eat it together. I hand her the dorayaki. Ilya hesitates, but takes the unfamiliar snack. Okay, thanks. She happily takes a bite of the dorayaki. She practically devours the thing. I nibble my dorayaki and try to stop myself from being overwhelmed by the shocking thought I've just had. I don't believe myself. For reasons I simply can't understand, I just found myself thinking it'd be nice to have a little sister like her. But honestly, I think Ilya's too innocent. She might really be an innocent young girl who hasn't learned the difference between good and evil. Honestly, I can't even begin to imagine how a mage family raises a child. But I know without a doubt that Ilya wasn't raised in a normal environment. Tosaka may act the way she does, but she is a mage at heart. She understands the gravity of the Holy Grail War and knows that the killings between masters are murder. This girl may become a master without really appreciating what it means to kill people. I haven't been talking to her long, but I don't think Ilya is the sort who'd choose to kill anyone. If that's the case, there's something serious I want to talk to you about. But then, Ilya suddenly raises her head as if someone just called for her. What's wrong? Did something happen? Yeah, I need to go home. Berserker woke up. She jumps off the bench. Ilya runs out of the park without so much as a goodbye. She disappears in an instant. Okay. Oh, not yet. I go back to the house. I decide to keep quiet about meeting Ilya. This is the sort of thing I should be sharing right away, and I know it, but I don't feel like talking about it. Ilya wasn't acting like a master in the park. We talked about trivial things and casually parted ways, so I hesitate to bring up what happened today to the others. I feel bad for keeping secrets, but I don't want to think of the little girl I just met today as my enemy. Alright, so I think with this scene here is going to be where I call tonight's stream. We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, but this is okay, yeah. This is, that's something. So yeah, I think this is a good time to end the stream, so that way I can make sure I have it marked as a mature stream next time, given that preview image I just saw. So, I've been SoulRack I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you have, leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same games. There is plenty of content for all to enjoy. I will try and figure out if there's any way to filter mature stuff here, or if I'm going to have to do that on the Twitch side of things. But for now, I will see you all next time. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.